Today we're going to be talking about 9 traits of highly successful people. Hello, I'm Michael Robinson, host of the Michael S. Robinson Show every day on Microbin Radio, also author of the book 100 Pennies, and entrepreneur for the past 30 years. So when it comes to succeeding, when it comes to successful people, I know what it takes. I'm going to share that with you today. So successful people comes in all forms and fashion and sizes and personalities. It doesn't mean you have to be aggressive and rude and bombastic to be successful. It doesn't mean you have to be obnoxious to be successful. Actually, there's a diversity of personalities that one can have when it comes to succeeding, whether it's in business or your career. And I'm going to share those 9 traits with you today. First trait is that one has to have creativity. One has to have ideas. You have to know what it is you want in life. You have to have a goal. The goal is the guiding post that moves you forward in your life. Without a goal, then oftentimes you have no idea of what you want to do. You switch from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And before you know it, time passes and you have gone not very far. So having a goal is one of the crucial things when it comes to being successful. Know what you want, be certain about it, meditate on it if you have to, but be certain that this is your goal. Because if it's not, and 6 months from now you change your mind, that means you're going to have to start all over again. So the goal is really your guidepost. Therefore, it is the thing that moves you forward. Number 2, one has to be curious and observant. One has to be looking at what's happening with that goal and idea. Are other people doing this? And if so, how are they doing it? What can I learn from others who've done it before? You don't have to reinvent the wheel because others have done it, so therefore learn from them. So be observant, expand your mind, and see how others have done it so that you can do it, if not as good, better than they have. Number 3, one has to be adventurous, one has to be curious, and one has to be a risk taker. And I say this because being a risk taker is not unintelligently jumping off of a cliff hoping that you hit a pool of water that you can swim in and the pool of water is lukewarm. No, it means being able to mitigate all of that by calculating your risk, making sure, even though you're courageous and adventurous, making sure that the risk you take is calculated and measured, so that when you do make that move, you have gone through a calculation of what the potential outcomes might be. All right? So be a risk taker. Don't be afraid to take chances in life, because if you are, then you're going to be stuck with an idea and no forward momentum. So being a risk taker is one of the crucial things that makes highly successful people successful. They're also, like I said, adventurous. So moving beyond the risk, look at the adventure that comes about from having taken the risk, right? It's very exciting when you think about, oh my goodness, how do I visualize this risk moving forward? Adventure, risk-taking, visualization, all of that comes hand in hand. Number 4, plan. Planning is one of the most important things you can do. It is setting your GPS to where you want to go, to your goal. You have your goal. Now, how do you get there? You get there with a plan. And how do you create a plan? You take pen and paper and you begin writing. You write out a strategy as to how you get from point A to point B to point C to point D and eventually to your goal. If you're going on vacation, you don't just jump in your car and say, oh, I'm going from New York to California. No, you look at a GPS and you figure out what routes to take, what is the quickest way to take or the most scenic route to take to get there. So it's the same thing with anything you're doing. You create a plan of action that you are going to take. And number 5, it's the action, right? The planning is one thing, it's the action that takes the plan towards the goal. So the action is really that act of taking the plan and moving through time and space with it so that you reach your goal, which is the number 1 thing we talked about. And it's doing it consistently. Because we can take action today and we can take action tomorrow, but we can wake up 2 days later and say, I don't feel like this. I just don't know. I'm not sure. Am I doing the right thing? So you gotta take the action consistently. That's what makes highly successful people highly successful. They're willing to do the work. They're willing to take the action every day. You get up and you do. You get up and you be. You get up and you make things happen. You take the action. The action is the key to moving through time and space in order to get to your goal with that plan that I mentioned in number 4. Number 6, most highly successful people are effective leaders. And what I mean by that is usually someone who is very successful is a leader because he has a strategy, she has a goal, she has a plan of action, and she or he has individuals who are either looking at what he or she is doing and providing him or her with the support needed. And what that means is that I'm thinking of whether you're head of a department or whether you are the head of a company or whether you are running a small business that you've started. People need to believe in your vision, in your goal, in your plan. And in order to do that, you have to convey that information to them effectively. You have to let them see your plan. You have to let them into your whole world. And in so doing, create a certain symbiotic relationship of trust. And when people trust you, when they believe in you, they will follow you. It means you have to give them constructive criticism if you are the boss. It means that you have to give them good guidance if you are the boss. It means you have to set aside a certain amount of time to listen to them, to listen to their needs, and provide them with the support that they need. It means you have to provide tools to help them do their jobs better. It means that you have to give them good, positive reinforcement when it comes to the guidance all around in the organization that you're running, because that's what makes a good leader a good leader. The ability to make people feel good even when they have done something that might not have been so good. All right? Being able to provide constructive criticism is crucial. Number 7, being motivated and empowered. Motivation is one of the key things that gives us the energy, right? And motivation isn't something that happens organically for everybody. When you have an idea, when you have a plan, and you've taken that plan and you put it into action, it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. Actually, you're motivated because of the adrenaline that's running through your body and, the endorphins that are being fired in your brain and whatnot. But let's face it, that's not going to last forever. That dies. At some point in time, that hits a low point and you are not motivated. So you have to go and seek motivation from outside sources and within. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. When I meditate, when I close my eyes and I spend my time in quiet solitude, being present with myself, whether it's for 5 minutes or whether it's for 10 minutes, or whether I choose to do that with a vinyasa flow for an hour, where it's a moving physical meditation, that brings me into a place of presence. It gives me clarity of thought, and oftentimes it ignites my motivation to do what I do and gives me even more clarity on how to move forward past obstacles that I encounter. Because you're going to face obstacles. You're going to face a lot of obstacles. And sometimes these obstacles, they can weigh heavily on you. And weighing heavily on you means that it can erode the motivation that's in you. So don't let the obstacles erode your emotions and your motivation, but find ways of igniting the motivation. Read positive quotes. Find affirmations that speak to your sensibility. Post them up all over the place. Have them in your office, on your fridge. And I say that all the time because that's what I do. And sometimes I may not have the time to do a vinyasa flow or a meditation, but I see a positive quote and suddenly it inspires me. It gives me a little bit of spark towards my motivation and gets me back up on my feet again and gets me moving forward. So motivation is one of the key things that moves your vehicle of a dream forward. Number 8, passion. Being passionate is important. Passion is one of those things, yeah, motivation is good, but being passionate about your idea, when you're passionate about it, my goodness, it takes you a yard beyond where you are right now. You're seeing the future of what it is you envision. You're so excited about this. You talk about it. You speak about it. When people see you, you light up like a Christmas tree because you're so excited about what you're doing. So be passionate about what you do. Highly successful people are highly successful because they're passionate about what they're doing. So find the passion within you and figure out how to ignite it. Move forward through time and space with your goals and aspiration. You're going to be one of those highly successful people that I've read about and that I know personally. And number 9, being focused yet open. You got to be focused, keep your eye on the prize, but yet you got to be open to do tweaks along the way because things are not always going to turn out the way you expect them to. Sometimes it could be better or sometimes it can be less than better. So you have to be willing to be flexible. Be flexible to tweak everything as you move forward with your goals and your aspirations, because if you are too rigid, when the wind blows, that tree will break. The flexibility of a tree is what makes it stable. The same thing goes for your idea, your goals, your plan, and your aspirations. Always keep a little bit of flexibility to twist and turn depending on what's happening in the marketplace or in your career or whatever it is you're doing. That's why it's important to go back to number 2 and be curious, be observant, read, learn, and constantly be vigilant, because all of those things, all of those 8 traits that I mentioned before the 9th one, working in tandem is what makes highly successful people highly successful. So I wish you much success. I wish you a wealth of opportunity that's out there. Go out and grab the world by its head and make your life happen, because I believe in you and I know that you can. All you need is a bit of guidance, and that's what I'm here for. So all of what I've said, if put into action, will make you a highly successful person, whether it's running a business, whether it's leading a company, whether it's pursuing a career. It all applies, it all works in tandem. So until next time, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like what we're saying. And certainly questions and comments are always welcomed. I'm Michael Robinson. Remember, this is your time. Use it wisely.